I'm a musician and I'm a writer. Creativity is an essential part of not just my profession, but also the way I live my everyday life. But sometimes I find that I'm not at my creative best. Today, I'd like to share with you a few stories that illustrate some of the obstacles that I face during my creative process, and also a mindset that I have learned and also I trust when I have to face these obstacles. Now, I'm the eldest of 3 siblings. I have 2 younger sisters, and I fully accept the pop science term of being the control freak. Being in a family with 3 confident, proud, and may I add, loud sisters, control and finding a space for yourself, it's a common affair. And being the oldest, I have found a way to assert myself, being in charge, or as my sisters would call it, Miss Bossy Pants. This desire to seek control in all these circumstances in my life, it's really hard for me to let go of. And it also poses as a threat, not just to my creativity, but also in enjoying the experience. I have found that self-awareness, having trust in yourself, smashing self-doubt, and even embracing your imperfections, it helps me wrestle with this instinct of control, and also not to worry too much about the risk of failure. It's really funny that I talk about self-doubt and risk of failure when the last couple of weeks I have felt truckloads of self-doubt and the fear of failing because of the talk, but I'm here today. And I hope that through my stories, maybe one of you will be persuaded in joining me to let go and embrace your vulnerability. So the first story I'd like to talk about is of my wedding. I got married earlier this year, and it took a year of planning. An entire year of planning in the pursuit of perfection. I wanted every moment and every detail to be absolutely flawless, like Instagram, Pinterest versions of life. I basically wanted all my boards to be real, because Pinterest is life, right? From invitation fonts to marinara sauces, sunset timings, makeup schedules, I micromanaged every single detail. Why? Because I just wanted everything to be perfect. And not just any perfect, social media perfect. Now, this vision of my wedding, it completely overtook the experience of the wedding. So anytime something would go wrong, I felt sad. And I felt disappointed. I felt self-doubt. And I miss this joke, but I had turned into the devil wears Sabyasachi because I had channeled my inner Miranda Priestley, and I was, that's all to everyone. And all that effort that I had put in trying to do these things, they made me feel that I wasn't enough. As you all know, Indian weddings, they go on and on and on for days. And I think on, say, the 7th day of the celebrations, the photographer pulled me aside, and he treaded very carefully, because Bridezilla. He goes, Riccha, I'm trying really hard to get good, candid photos of you, but the thing is that you have this expression of utter disappointment. And I'm not sure if that's the look you want to go for your wedding photos. So, do you want to tell me what's up? And it was like the heavens had opened and this angel had come down to listen to all my problems, and I went, yeah, I am so upset because, this tablecloth is white, but that white doesn't match the white of the flower, and there is this trellis here, and there's this space, and the plants are not filling in, and aesthetically this. And the photographer stares at me and he goes, Riccha, your wedding is happening now. Whatever you could have done, it's done. Stop trying to control things you have no control over. Just let it go for the sake of your photographs. To have that stranger be so brutally honest with me, I was shocked. And it grabbed my attention because he was right. I was missing out on possibly the best moments of my life because of the color of a tablecloth. And what impeccable timing, because just a few moments later, I had to take the stage and perform the first song that my husband and I were going to sing from the wedding. People do first dances, we did a first song. And just a few hours before that, I had told my husband that I just cannot do it because I feel vulnerable and I feel sad and I'm feeling so stressed out that I don't think I can sing. I'm so happy the photographer said that stuff to me because I took the stage and I performed the song and it went great. And I'm so proud of that performance. I mean, not because it got all those views and likes on social media, but because I was happy in that moment. I had let go of all these frustrations that I was feeling, and I felt this weight just go off of my shoulders. And I got the time and the presence of mind to appreciate the fact that I was performing in front of all of my family and loved ones, and that was something to take home. If you wouldn't mind, I have 30 seconds of the video to show you the performance and also all the moments that happened after the performance where I'm smiling and I'm happy.
It's not the pale moon that excites me, that thrills and delights me. Oh no, it's just the nearness of you.
For those of you who are not familiar with Thanksgiving, it's an American holiday where the entire country collectively takes a cheat day, where they gorge on turkey and mashed potato and pecan and apple and pumpkin pie. And even though it might seem like it's a celebration of gluttony, not in my house. For us, it's an occasion where we self-inflict torture by cooking an entire meal from scratch, breads included, for a group of our friends, family, colleagues. This year, that number was 35. Now, this truly is a labor of love because we get to create community and we get to express appreciation for the wonderful people in our lives by literally serving them. And not just that, but it's a time where we get to test ourselves, to push our limits, to pretend for one day that our culinary accomplishments will earn us our first Michelin star for our home kitchen. Now, cooking for 35 people to an impossible standard, it's a tremendous task. And for the sake of our 35 guests, and so that they don't get food poisoning, because that's possible, we got one of our friends, really close friend of ours, to join us in our madness. It took weeks of planning, and we had choreographed the use of our kitchen to a science. We had this whiteboard that had an hour-by-hour schedule of the use of 2 ovens and 4 stoves and 3 bain-maries, all from 10 in the morning to 8 in the evening. And this was just a day off. Apart from that 6-hour nap we had at night, we cooked for almost 48 hours straight. Now, time pressure, performance pressure, all these things, they can instigate my control monster to wake up and create havoc. So I tried my best. I didn't think about invitations and decor and table setting and all that. But 4 days before the event, at 10 o'clock at night, my husband comes home and he goes, why don't we experiment the cook time of pears and see whether they go with maybe blue cheese or bean paste or maybe polenta or just a few things. We'll just throw them out and do this experiment. At 10 o'clock at night, 4 days before the event, I completely lost it. For me, it was, dude, we've been planning this event for weeks, and 4 days before the event, you want to experiment with food? I mean, maybe it's a good idea, but it's not in my schedule. I didn't think about it. It's not on the whiteboard, so no. But instead of talking about it like mature adult human beings, I had a screaming match. I slammed the door and went to bed angry. The next morning, when I had a little bit of time to reflect, I realized, and I hate to say this, he was right. Because you see, those pears, they were important. Our Thanksgiving tradition is, before the buffet, we serve a plated first course that showcases one star ingredient. This year, it was pears. So we put our thinking caps on, and for the next 3 days, we ate pears. Cook time, flavor pairing, plating techniques. We had tried so many different variations, and every iteration brought us closer to something interesting. We had fully embraced our creative process. Now, this mindset was very important because when the day came, you can write all that on that whiteboard, but your schedule, it's going to go off track. So we had 1 hour to, because we weren't following a specific recipe, we had to think of what we wanted to do, we had to cook the item, and we had to plate it. 35 plates. I cannot emphasize that number enough. But because of all that effort we had put in to allow ourselves to be creative and just be in the process of creating this amazing pear, we were able to trust ourselves and make informed decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to showcase, presenting to you maple roasted pear with whipped brie, spiced ginger chutney, and maple butter roasted butternut squash seeds, and a flick of pepper. This recipe, thank you. This recipe ceased to exist before and since. And we are so proud of this because we were able to let ourselves go into the creative process and create something amazing. Now, I might be able to say that I am a reformed control freak. I'm not sure. I still feel that monster within me. I felt it all of this week. And maybe it's not even important because I am who I am. But from these stories, the lessons that I have learned to help tame that monster and the lessons that help me be more creative and help me enjoy the process of being creative is what I'd like to take back from it. And also, if any of you feel like you might have this monster of control in you, I hope you leave this talk today knowing that you are not alone, and maybe some inspiration to let go the illusion of control and truly embrace your own creative process. Thank you.